Hey everybody, so I am going to one of my hosts' house for a Helium Hotspot miner to do an uninstall. I'm just going to pull it out of their attic. And the reason for this is because, well, their internet has been in and out at least 4 or 5 times this month. And as well, the Helium Hotspot miner will not do an automatic connection to their Wi-Fi anymore. So whenever there's an issue or whenever Helium does an update, I have to come here and reconnect everything. And it's just not worth doing. It's just been too much of a pain. So might as well remove it. So that's what I'm gonna do right now.
Come on out, Cody. Watch out for the dog there.
So we installed it up there in their attic. So this was the installation right here. This is basically how we set it up. So this is why we wanted this kind of system. It's very easy to just take this down, and I just have this 25-foot cable here that we're gonna roll up and pull out. Here's where we connected it, right down here. We just put a smart plug on it so I could control it remotely. And now I just gotta close the top. So just a point of fact, there has been a rash of Xfinity problems across the Denver area. And I believe that there was a problem where I think Xfinity was hacked. That's my personal opinion. Last night, most of my Helium hotspots that are connected to Xfinity went out. So it's not just this place, but I've had problems for a while with this place, which is just why I'm done, even with 0.5 HNT a day. Quite frankly, I have fixed the Xfinity problems in the areas that I can fix them. We just got new routers that seemed to solve the problem. So whatever virus or issue was causing it, getting the router fixed that problem. But I can't always rely on a host solving these problems quickly and efficiently, because honestly, they're not interested. They are just a host. They're only being paid 75 bucks a month. They could care less about your Helium hotspot miner. They would rather have something that you can set in their house and just forget it. And unfortunately, as it's turning out, especially with all of the problems with the network and the miners, it's just not that easy. So that all being said, I am not looking for hosts anymore. No, I'm looking for partners. I think it's important that we have somebody that really cares and wants to make sure that the Helium hotspot's up and running and, well, making H&T. And so a partner is somebody that'll verify that stuff, where honestly, a host is not. A host is not someone that cares at all. They just, want their money to put something in their house that you never have to touch again. I'm actually very curious about those companies out there that are trying to do just that, just set it and forget it kind of setup, where they think they're going to have money pouring in by using such a plan. Now, in order to make this kind of plan work, I do have a hosting agreement. This hosting agreement was originally designed, yes, to just pay monthly sum, but I've modified it. And if you want to have access to it, please join our Facebook group, and I will upload it there, and you can go to files and download it. The Facebook group link will be in the description, and that's also a great way to contact me. So if anybody does want to be a partner with me and host a hotspot, yeah, contact me in the group. Okay, and I'm sorry, I should say this. I am looking for people in the larger Denver area. I mean, if you live in Fort Collins, if actually even outside of the Denver area, but in Colorado, if you live in Colorado Springs, I'm open to talk to you about these things. I don't have that many hotspots left anymore, but the ones I do, let's let me look at your area, let me vet it, and, you know, we can chat more about whether it'll work or not. But the hosting agreement basically says this. This hosting agreement is entered into on the date between the hotspot owner, me, and the host, you. The host agrees to allow the hotspot owner to set up a hotspot on their property at the address. It will be connected to the host's power and internet with a TCP open port 44158. And I just want all that in there so people know what they're getting into. These are the three things that are required. I need their power, I need their internet access, and I need that open port so we are not relayed. In exchange for hosting the hotspot, the host will receive 50% of the H&T at the end of each month transferred into their wallet after the initial earning of 20 H&T has been made by the owner. This will continue until either party chooses to end the agreement. Now, of course, you don't have to do it exactly as I wrote it. I chose 50-50 because a 50-50 partner seems comfortable to people. But of course, some might argue, well, I can't be a 50-50 partner. I put all the money into the hotspot and getting everything set up. Okay, well, make that an H&T in the first couple months. That's why I have 20 H&T is first made by the owner. So once I get my 20, which I basically figured at $30 per one H&T, that's $600. So I'm just trying to get $600 back. And for many of you, yeah, you may want to sell that right away to get that money back. I'm not going to. I'm holding, but that's up to you. And then after that, like I said, it's a 50-50 split. And yeah, I truly believe if you're 50-50 partners, that really does make you care. If you're a 50-50 partner, you will want to make sure that you are making H&T with that Helium hotspot. Now, this agreement does continue until either party chooses to end it. That seems fair by me. That way, you're 50-50 partners. You should both be able to say at any time, forget it, I'm done, I'm out, this isn't working. When the agreement has ended, the host will return the equipment and the remaining H&T will be equally divided. Now, I haven't gone into any more detail in that. Certainly, if you have thoughts about what should change, feel free to suggest it. I'm not necessarily going to change this on Facebook, but, you know, it's good for people to talk about what should be added into an agreement. I wanted to keep this agreement as simple as possible because, quite frankly, I didn't want to scare away anybody. If I started putting in here, if you do this to the hotspot, if the hotspot is broken, if something happens to my equipment, that's not going to make you want to be a partner with me. So I didn't do that. I did add to make sure we have name, date, email, and phone because I want to be able to get a hold of you. So I found out, for example, that one of the hotspots that I thought was out isn't actually out. The person who lives at that house, they have roommates that are moving out. They're getting new internet tomorrow. And so, yeah, they are disconnected at the moment. That's okay. See, they were a partner. We're doing a 50-50. They actually signed this contract right here. You know, they'll get it fixed and set up tomorrow, but they do need my help. And the reason they need my help is because how are they going to connect it to the new Wi-Fi system? And the answer for that is a new app. Now, the app that you probably are using is the Helium app, right? And the Helium app needs you to have a wallet, but even more so, in order to connect to a hotspot, it needs to have a hotspot connected to that wallet. Well, there is a Helium hotspot utility app that you can find online that doesn't require any of that. So by using that app, you can then either restart the hotspot or you know, hit the button on the side to get the Bluetooth connection, and it will let you connect to it. And then from there, you can do diagnostics, you can connect into the Wi-Fi, you can do the same stuff that you could do previously. I mean, that's fairly limited, but at least you have that. And in those situations that we've talked about with things like SenseCap, where you need to be local in order to go to a page and paste in the CPU ID in order to do a fast sync or a turbo sync, well, they're there for it. You can send them to the links in an email, give them all the data, and they'll do it for you. That's the nice thing about having a partner. So that's why I say if anybody wants to be my partner, go ahead, contact me. Please do it via the Facebook group, and I'll vet your location and we'll figure it out. But I do love some of these apps that I'm seeing that are online. Another app that I really like is I think it's called Helium Geeks. That app really kind of shows everything in green and red and lets you know right away if there's a problem. And that's what I want. I want something that shows right away there's a problem when I go to look at it. That's what a dashboard should do. Some of these dashboards I'm seeing today, they're not well designed for the user experience, and I want to see better design. But that's the Helium Geeks one. I'm not saying it has a lot of functionality. I'm just saying that there are dashboards out there that have some great functionality, but the way they're designed is not as useful, and hopefully I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. One thing I'm also going to mention is I like my design here. I don't know how many of you have seen it. This is a simple way for me to just take a light stand, which is like $15, $16. You might have to buy two, though, so $30, $32 on Amazon to get one. And I built this with PETG. I 3D printed it. As you can see, it's a nice drop-in for the 8 dBi antenna. The one negative I have of this is these stands have held really heavy lights, and so the top is kind of shaky like this. I'm hoping new ones don't have that problem. I don't have any new ones. I have a lot of light stands and no new light stands, so I might have to buy a couple and just see what the quality is these days. But yeah, this was my design, and as you can see, I built a fan into it, and the fan gets plugged in at the top into it via USB. However, the fan does take, I think, 0.25 amps, and so really, rather than a 5-volt, 3-amp power supply, you'd probably want something more like a 5-amp, 4-volt, 5-volt, 3-amp power supply. Instead, you'd want a 5-volt, 4-amp power supply for this to work. So just, stuff to think about. I'm hoping to start printing these around Christmas, and so if anybody wants any, I'll put them on Etsy. All right, so for the rest of you, thanks for watching, and happy mining. And for those of you in Denver,